Hi and welcome to another episode of Delaware County Political News, Meet the Candidate. We are here with Gina H. Curry, candidate for Upper Darby School Board Director. Gina is an advocate for children and social justice issues with over 20 years of experience working with youth and families in both college and practice. She went to St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and worked as a teaching assistant while earning her master's degree, which ultimately attracted her to the discipline of education. For the past decade, she has focused on community service and social work. She has a particular interest in studying the impact of school discipline and positive behavioral practices through advocacy against the school-to-prison pipeline. Born into a family of educators, Gina grew up with a passion and understanding of the value of a public education and the importance of keeping the standards of public education sacred for all students. Gina, thank you for being a guest on Delaware County Political News.
Thank you, Larry.
Gina, you are passionate about social advocacy. Tell us about that.
Larry, social advocacy is a big part of my heart. I've been working on the college level in criminal justice for many years, and working with children who have behavioral disorders in the school systems. The school-to-prison pipeline is a hot button for me because I feel like if we don't catch the right type of response to children with behavioral issues early on, that it puts them right into a beeline for the prison system.
The school-to-prison pipeline, what is that?
The school-to-prison pipeline is a systematic engine that works against the children. The school-to-prison pipeline basically looks at children at an early age, and it can start in elementary school, which we've seen, but as they go into middle school, they might get in trouble with increased suspensions, less advocacy, more punishment, more zero tolerance, which then puts a child into a situation where they are labeled and looked at in a way that sets them up for the pipeline of the system. And what I mean by the system is we have the school system that is set up for education, but the system that I'm referring to actually looks at the system outside of school, outside of education, which is the prison system. The prison system where we spend a lot of money building, adding additions, where we're not seeing the same that's put into the budget for actual public education.
And what can be done to help?
I want to look at how we can put positive reinforcements into the school at the elementary level. So a lot of us know that there are issues in the schools with bullying, children who are acting out in the schools, bullying other children. And when we look at that, we have to know how we can understand why a child might be doing this. Instead of punishing them or having this zero tolerance policy, we should be coming at it from a therapeutic standpoint and trying to find out the best practices to work holistically in the child's life, at school, and in the home. Therefore, we will then be able to help the parent, along with the teacher and the administrator, work with the child instead of putting this child on the outside of the education system at an early age through suspension, through expulsion, and through really an outcast system that puts them into a positioning where they have a hard time recovering.
Gina, tell us about your family background.
Well, my family background is an important part of me. I grew up under a mother who was an educator and a father who was in construction, a wonderful historian. My father loved history, and so I grew up in a household that was very education-based. My mother has several degrees. My father was a blue-collar guy, so it kept us kind of grounded in the sense that we had both sides. My mother and father really encouraged us to continue our education. I have a younger sister and an older brother, and we all went to college. I grew up in a small blue-collar town where family was important, and my education came from both the public sector and the private sector, and so I have a well-rounded view of what public education can give to a student that had the kind of background that I have. And Upper Darby is very much like that.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from the suburbs of Baltimore, Maryland.
And when did you move to Upper Darby?
I moved to Upper Darby after I graduated from college at St. Joseph's University. I decided that I wanted to take up residence in Delaware County.
How is your home township, Upper Darby, unique?
My home township, Upper Darby, is unique because of the vast diversity. When you look at Upper Darby, our children have had the benefit of understanding who everyone who lives in the community, where they come from, who they are, the different backgrounds. We celebrate in Upper Darby International Day. So it's very exciting to be in a hometown of Upper Darby where diversity is celebrated. And that's important.
How does the makeup of the school board reflect the unique and special nature of the township?
Well, Larry, it doesn't. And that is one of the reasons why I'm running for school board, is what I feel is the misrepresentation of all neighborhoods. One of my taglines in my campaign is, many neighborhoods, one shared vision. Upper Darby is unique because there are people on every side of Upper Darby, which is a huge township, that represent different socioeconomic backgrounds, different size houses, different communities, both ethnically and culturally. And so it doesn't have that makeup right now.
What is the makeup of the school board?
The makeup of the school board right now represents the majority of one side of Upper Darby, which is the side of Upper Darby that has the higher socioeconomics. And so that's where I've actually felt like there needs to be more representation from every side. In Upper Darby, we run at large for school board directors, so our representation is supposed to come from an entire township, not just from area to area, and at this time it's unequal.
Do you think the fact that you have just the at-large candidates like that, do you think that's part of the problem? Do you think it would be better to have regional commissioners or council people?
Well, that's a really good question, because we've talked about that just in our candidacy on my slate. And one of the issues that we feel would take place is that you might not be able to find people to run from every area. And so the at-large system does work. We just need to make sure it's a multifaceted, balanced school board.
What have you learned while running for office?
Well, I've learned that running for office is an important issue. Running for office involves tenacity, strength, and a clear mind. We, as the Upper Darby School Board slate on the Democratic side, have a high level of diversity among our slate. We all have concerns about the community, and as we're running our day-to-day lives in our families, running for an office, we know takes a lot of time. But it also is important, it's a very important factor, because in my household I see that I am setting an example for my own children who are seeing that I have an issue, I get in front of it, and I'm ready to move on it and fight for what is right in our school district.
Why do you want to run for office?
Well, I want to run for office because I am a social advocate. I am passionate about children and their communities and their families. I am an educator. I take what is important in the schools and I look at it from all sides to determine what is going to be best for the children in our school district. And in my own household, I have a daughter and she's going to be graduating in the class of 2018. I have a sophomore in the high school and I have a second grader at the elementary level. This is important for me to be able to be fully engaged as a parent as a community member, and as someone who has a profession, as I shared with you earlier, in the school to prison pipeline and behavioral specialty, to make sure that our children are getting everything that they need. In addition to the individuals who live in the community, who support the school district through their taxes and property taxes. These are all important issues, and it's important that we come together as a slate and as an individual, who I am, Gina H. Curry, to fight for the right things for the Upper Darby School District.
What issues are involved in this 2017 school board race?
The issues that I see for the students of Upper Darby is the budget. We spend about, or are allotted about $13,000 per student when they should have a good $19,000. The budget has let us down. The voters who are trying to get good school board directors in to fight for this oftentimes are let down because of the state's budget and the planning. So that is a huge issue that we're faced with, is the money. Not being able to do for our students what they deserve. Another huge issue right now is keeping Upper Darby the Upper Darby that we know. Rekindling it, making sure that people know it's a great school district, that people should want to come and move into the area to give their children a diverse, highly educated, highly successful education in the public school system.
Why should voters vote for you?
Voters should vote for me because I am a parent in the district. I am an educator. I will fight for your child. I will make sure that the issues that come up are paid attention to and not brushed to the side. I believe in transparency and openness with the community, and I plan to engage the community everywhere I go in the Upper Darby School District.
What is your campaign message?
My campaign message is, if you vote for me, you will have transparency, accountability, and engagement. The important part of engagement is making sure that parents are aware of what's going on in the district. As a parent myself, I am very involved with communication. I want to make sure that I know what the ins and outs are with the administration and the teachers and what's going on in our community. Transparency, there have been many issues that I felt have not been open and honest among the community. I want to be able to know what's going on at the higher level and right inside of our schools. That's important to me. And lastly, accountability. When you vote for me, you will know that I will be accountable to the things that I say and the fight that I will fight for your child.
Gina, you told me something very exciting going on in Upper Darby Youth Court. Tell me about that.
Yes, I'm really excited about Upper Darby's youth court, newly installed youth court, because I believe that that system, it's been proven in other school districts to be a positive enforcement or reinforcement in helping students with offenses.
What is youth court?
Youth court basically helps students, peers, to come together to recognize what the offense is, to be able to repair the offense, and to be able to put things in place so that they won't happen again.
What is repair the offense?
Repair the offense basically means that among the peers, there can be a forgiveness or a looking at what actually happened and how they can resolve the issue.
Is this also an alternative disciplinary process?
It is. It can be looked at as an alternative disciplinary process because it helps to keep those students who have committed the offense or the behavior issue inside the school before they go to the next step.
Have you ever attended any current school board meetings?
Yes, I have.
What observations did you make?
The observations that I've made over the past year with the school board meetings is that there oftentimes is a lack of transparency and a strong emphasis on what is positive versus the things that we need to be working on.
Be specific. What do you mean by an emphasis on what is positive?
What the school board has done that's great. And although you don't want to put negative out into the community, you want to be transparent in terms of what the school board is currently working on. No one's perfect. And the thing with the current school board that I've found is that the good things are overemphasized and the issues that are being worked on aren't completely honestly given as what needs to happen and what is actually going on.
How would you do it differently?
With inside the community, I would love to see more parents come out to these meetings so that they can be informed about what's actually going on. A lot of times when I talk to parents, they want to point out what's not right about the district, and they want to point out why they want to move their child from the district. If more parents are engaged and there's more communication about the actual issues that are going on, for instance, a firing of an administrator or something that's gone on at a particular school. In the past, I don't feel like that happened right away. And I also feel that it is our right as parents in the community to know what is actually going on. But we have to be as honest and open as we can so that parents aren't walking around wondering what happened.
Well, Gina, that's all we have time for today. And again, I want to thank you for being a guest on Delaware County Political News.
Thank you, Larry.
We have been here with Gina H. Curry, candidate for Upper Darby School Board Director, and I am your host, Larry DeMarco. If you like this video, please don't forget to share it with all the members of your contact list and Facebook friends. We're signing off. Tune in next time. Bye for now.